G'day ladies and gents, Bill here from Vic Brim Classics. Well, the 2024 NS Rod Sunline Bream Classic Series has been launched, and I thought it would be a good idea to come on and do a bit of a preview of the series and have a look at some of the rounds and also have a look at some of the categories. So without further ado, let's have a look. Our 24 series is stacked full of awesome sponsors and amazing things for you to win. You don't have to be at the top of the field to win some great prizes. So let's have a look. Our first round for this year is the 2024 Club Marine East Gippsland Bream Classic, and that is on the 23rd and 24th of March. It's coming up, so make sure you get those entries in for that one. It's an amazing system. The East Gippsland Lakes is huge, from Lakes Entrance all the way down past Hopkins Landing. There are so many places that you can fish in this one, and it is first up. The Gippsland Lakes is going to fish amazingly towards the end of March, so that's a great one to get involved. Round two, we then head to the other end of Victoria, and we are TT time. It is the TT Glenelg Shire Bream Classic, and that is in Nelson on the Glenelg River. Completely different system to anywhere else in Victoria. A long stretching river, deep rock walls, there's flats down the front, and there's the ever popular bycatch down there, or you might tangle with a dewey. So that is a great one to fish. Usually lots of numbers of bream are caught there. It's a real fun one, and that will be on the 27th and 28th of April. After that round, we come back a little bit closer towards Melbourne, but not too close. We're into Warrnambool, and that is the Shimano Glenelg Hopkins CMA Bream Classic at the Hopkins River. Now, last year we had this round scheduled for June. I think it was the 17th and 18th of June. The weather didn't allow us to fish it, but the boys that went out and had a bit of a social said it was some of the best fishing that they'd seen in the Hopkins River for many years. So we're back there again. We've thrown the gauntlet. We're there on the 15th and 16th of June. It should be a big one. Hopefully it fishes similar to it did last year. It's a great venue, the Hopkins, if you're just starting out in tournament fishing, because it's not a big venue. You don't get too daunted. You can cover pretty much the whole system in your pre-fish, and you can hopefully find some of those fish. Now, while it's a small system, it does have some of the biggest bream that we do catch in the series. So don't be mistaken for thinking a small system's only going to produce small fish. It does have some crackers in there, and that will be a real good one to get down to, especially if it's your first event. Round four, we have a little bit of a break. We head to Maluda, Mitre Maluda Inlet on the 17th and 18th of August. They'll be coming just out of their winter slumber. It'll still probably be a little bit cold down there, but Maluda always turns on great fishing, awesome numbers. And last year's grand final was some fantastic bycatch, which is going to be important for one of the categories I'm going to talk about a little later on. So there you go, 17th, 18th of August, get into that one, Maluda. If you haven't been to Maluda before, get down there because it will blow you away. It is one of the most picturesque and awesome fishing destinations in Victoria, and that one will be a stacked field, I'm sure. Our final qualifying round, one of our new amazing sponsors, Viva Fishing, have come on board with Asakura, and our final qualifier is at Maro, and that is the Asakura Lures East Gippsland Bream Classic. It is on the 12th and 13th of October, so right into spring, things are starting to happen, the fish are starting to move. Maro has some of the biggest fish going around. If they're up in Karingal Lake, like they can be, it will be amazing fishing, but there's so many options in Maro. There's flats, there's rock walls, there's deep drop-offs, there's sand flats, there's the lake, and also there is some amazing bycatch as well with some big perch and flatties and all that sort of thing. So definitely one to get involved in is Maro and those Asakura lures. And if you think about Asakura and what do, have a look at the clamor that they produce. It is one of the most amazing looking and working lures that I've seen. It is top notch. The finish on it is so good. Asakura, that's round 5. All right, once we're all done and dusted, we have 5 qualifying rounds for you to earn points to the grand final. And then 23rd, 24th of November is our grand final, our NS Rod Sunline Bream Classic Invitational, and that will be at Nelson this year. Nelson hasn't held a grand final for a few years, We'll be back there, and we'll be back there the end of November. It'll start to get warm. The bream will be on the edges. They'll be on the flats. There'll be some awesome fishing down at Nelson at the end of November. And that is our season. It will go by quicker than you think, but first round's coming up soon, so you've got to get those entry in. But let's have a look at some categories. So if you're not at the pointy end of the field, you don't get into the top 10, what are some of the other things that you can win? First up, we always look at every round. We have our big brim, the JML Angler Alliance Big Brim. Now, if you win that, you are going to take away $1,000 worth of product from JML. Some of the JML rods are amazing, Eco Gear lures, some of the Norries, laydown minnows, some of the Yamato fluorocarbon that they do. There's a heap of stuff there, so that's a great one to win. Anything from 1.2 kilos all the way up to potentially 2 kilos could be a big brim depending on the venue, but it's a good one to win. Then next up, if you get the biggest bag for the weekend, we have the Sunline Best Bag. So you might do really well on day one and not so good on day two, or vice versa, but that doesn't matter. There's still a prize for that. So the biggest bag for one day will win the Sunline Best Bag, and that will be $1,000 worth of EJ Todd product. And it could be anything from Sunline lines, it could be NS rods, it could be Lucky Craft lures, Molex plastics. The list goes on and on. EJ Todd do some fantastic product, and those prize packs will be a very, very welcome addition to your tackle box. Next up, the new one this year, we've got our zip baits on board. Zip baits Monster Movers. Now, this will be a good one. It's always hotly contested. The furthest mover up the leaderboard on day two will take away the Zip Baits Monster Mover prize, and that is $1,000 worth of product from Frogley's Offshore, and it'll be zip baits. It could be atomic rods, atomic lures as well. There could be bass day lures in there. There could be rods. Who knows? It depends what Dom decides to put together for it, but we know that they're going to be some great prize packs. So two $500 prize packs there, $1,000 all up for coming home with a flurry on day two. So you can have a crapper on day one, go out day two, and then absolutely smack them, move the furthest up the leaderboard, and you take away an awesome prize. Another new one, very excited about this one. 2023, we had some amazing rogue species caught. I remember a few standouts. We had, I think, a 91 centimetre flatty caught in the grand final. We had an awesome sea run trout caught at Meetung in August. Some great perch, some great flathead. A few dewies were caught. Now, Ian from Miller Rods decided to reach out and say, we need to reward these guys that are catching these awesome rogue species in tournaments. And they've come on board with the Miller Rogue. So every single round, we are going to nominate a rogue species. Now, for example, at Nelson, it might be a dewey, or it could be a perch, depends if no dewies get caught. At the Hopkins, it'll be a perch. Gippsland Lakes, it'll probably be a flathead. Maro will probably do a perch, and then also down at Maluda we might do a flathead. Now if you catch that, check this out. Mr. Ian Miller is not going to give away one Miller rod, but there's going to be 2 Miller rods up for grabs. So a prize pack worth $1,000 again for the guys that win the biggest rogue species. So again, if you're doing really, really bad for the brim on the weekend, but you've dialed in the flathead or you've dialed in the perch, you could go away with a really good prize there thanks to the Miller Rogue. All right. What else? Just keeps going on and on. Shimano have come on board again this year with our Junior Angler Prize. Every single qualifying round and our grand final, we will give away the highest placed junior angler under 16 a $300 Shimano prize pack for being the highest placed, which is fantastic. And one of the other things we're doing is once that junior has won a category, so they've won, say, at our first round at Meetung, the next tournament, if they're above, if they win again, it will go to the person who's next highest who hasn't won it yet, because what Shimano have done, which is fantastic, is we've got the 2024 Shimano Junior Angler of the Year. So all of the points that you gain throughout the year for the Club Marine Team of the Year will go towards those juniors as well. So you'll probably win a round as one of the junior anglers for one of the rounds, and then it gets shared amongst all the other young kids, which is fantastic. But if you are consistent all year and you do really well, you will win the 2024 Shimano Junior Angler of the Year. And just quietly, the prize pack is $1,200 worth of Shimano product to that Junior Angler of the Year, and a probably pretty handsome trophy as well. So that's going to be a hotly contested one for all those juniors. So mum and dad, make sure you get the youngsters involved. Anyone under 16 is eligible. And to also get the really young guys involved, if they're under 12 years old, you can have them on your boat in your team with another adult. So you and your mate can fish with your young son or your young daughter. Mum and dad can fish with their young son or daughter. It means you can have 3 in the boat. 2 of you guys can help work with that young person, and we want to get those young kids involved. So that's an opportunity to get your young kid involved. You and your mate can bring the young one along, have a team of 3. How good is that? Thanks to Shimano for that one. Finally, to work out who's going to be in our grand final, we have our 2024 Club Marine Team of the Year. Club Marine has been our longest serving sponsor. They've been a major sponsor of the series for 19 years. They're an amazing sponsor, Club Marine, the best insurer in the business by far, and again, the Club Marine Team of the Year. So what do you win? Obviously, the top 50 teams get through to our grand final, but if you are the Club Marine Team of the Year, you win the nice trophy, the bragging rights, and you go into the 2025 series leading first off on Saturday, and all your entry forms are paid. So $1,250. Thank you very much. A nice trophy, and you head off first in every round. Now that's a pretty good advantage and an awesome prize. So that's a hotly contested one as well. Only 1 point separated 2 teams in 2023 for that one. Okay, so you're thinking, well, I'm not going to win any of those categories because I'm not that good a fisherman. I can't catch a flathead to save my life. I struggle on the Brim. Hey, doesn't matter. You've got to get involved. We have random draw prizes at the briefing. Most of our product that we get given, we randomly draw at the briefing. A little bit of an idea, some of these sponsors here are random draw sponsors. So NS Rods will be giving away some NS Rods randomly drawn at the briefing. St. Croix, now they've come on board. They are some of the best rods you can get. Every single round, we are going to give away a St. Croix rod. It's going to be randomly drawn for a team, and then coin toss to work out who in that team is going to take away that St. Croix rod. They are just that good. We can only give away 1 at each round because they are hotly contested. So 1 St. Croix rod's going to be get given at every briefing. We've got Atomic, they'll be giving away rods at every briefing. Tonic Eyewear come on board this year. Doug and the team at Tonic, the best sunglasses going around. He's the guru when it comes to amazing sunglasses. 2 pairs of Tonic sunglasses will be randomly drawn at the briefing. We also have our Humminbird Minn Kota PFDs, so we give away PFDs at every round, and obviously all the awesome Humminbird sounders get given away at the grand final, which is fantastic. Shimano come on board as well at our random draw stuff. They give away rods, they give away reels, and our new one over there, you might have noticed, is Lee Johnson Refrigerated Transport. Now, Lee has come on board. He is a fishing tragic, loves his fishing, wanted to get involved in the series this year, and he said, I want to do something. I've got a business and I want to give something away. So we put our heads together, and he does all transport for Don and those sorts of things. So we've got an esky full of porterhouse steak, roast pork roll, we've got hot dogs, bacon. It's going to be in an esky. It's going to be a random draw. It is going to be the ultimate meat tray raffle that we're going to randomly draw. So whoever wins that one is going to be eating like kings over the weekend, and they'll probably be sharing it with their mates because it is $500 worth of quality meat in an esky at each of the rounds. How good is that? So there you go. Amazing amount of randomly drawn prizes. So make sure that you get an entry in because you'll learn so much fishing with these guys, and you've got a chance just as good as any of winning an awesome prize. Okay, so our prize packs, we have our top 10. So obviously the top 10 that finish also get prize packs, and all of our amazing sponsors will have their product in those top 10 prize packs. We've got new sponsors this year, as you can probably see, but we've got all of our amazing sponsors from previous years. But ones like Asakura, Zip Baits, Mega Bass are new, but we've got TT, Atomic, Sunline, we've got our NS rods, JML as well, we've got the Miller rods there, we've got Dizzy Scent, there'll be Dizzy Scent going around everywhere, and the same, all of our Z-Man, Murasami, Rapala on board, Dyra are back this year, and the list goes on and on. We've got some amazing sponsors. So those top 10 prize packs will be chockers with cool stuff. Now, our top 3, they get the cash. Now, based on 50 teams entering, our cash breakdown is first gets $3,125, second $1,875, and third $1,250. So there's a bit of cash getting thrown out as well. It'll work out to about, I think, 40-something thousand for the year based on 50 teams. Obviously, the more teams we get for the round, the more cash that gets given out. So if you're thinking, this is awesome, I've got to get involved, how do I do it? Jump onto vicbrimclassics.com.au and download an entry form. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email or send me a text message or give me a call. But there's also the rules on the website, so you know what your boat's got to be, how you fish, what you've got to do. It is one of the friendliest group of guys getting around. It's a big family. We travel all over Victoria and we've nearly been doing it 20 years. So if you're thinking about getting involved or you've been thinking about getting involved for a couple of years, this is the year to do it. Amazing sponsors, amazing prizes, and again, some of the best venues going around. So I'll leave it at that. It's a pretty good preview. I'm looking forward to the series. I think it's going to be a belter. Hopefully we get good weather and some amazing fishing. Doesn't really matter about the weather. I know the fishing's going to be good because you guys can catch them no matter what the conditions. But you'll see me in a few weeks down at Meetung. I'll probably come back and do some product reviews and have a chat about some of our sponsors specifically as we go through. But get on board, grab an entry form and enter ASAP. But from me here, we'll see you soon. Have a good day.